Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys are able to hear me. Give me 2 minutes and I'll get started. Okay, let's get started. I want to show you a simple Python script or a Python code which will connect to the MySQL database. We're going to use a package called PyMySQL. That's a package we're going to use to connect Python to MySQL. So first thing what I would do is I would install PyMySQL package, and then we would connect to the Python database using Python and the PyMySQL package. So let me first show you my database. I have a MySQL database set up here, and I have a schema or a database called Asset Manager. This is the name of my schema, in which I have a table called inventory. I have an inventory table with a few columns in it. The columns are asset ID, name, manufacturer, an AMI number, and the model. So this is the table that I have, and I would want to show you how to connect to this table and add data or retrieve data using Python and PyMySQL. So I have created a I've created a project in PyCharm called DB connection demo, and within this project, what I want to do first is I want to get all the MySQL connection parameters first, and connection parameters like the host name, the port number, the username, the password, and the DB. And then I would want to install the PyMySQL package, which will help us connect Python with MySQL, and import the PyMySQL package and connect to the MySQL DB using PyMySQL once we have installed and imported, and then create a cursor object with which I can create a statement or create a query and execute that query using the cursor. And once I've executed the query, if it is a select statement, I don't need to do a commit. But if it's either an insert, update, or a delete, I need to do a commit. So these are all the steps that I want to perform to ensure that Python is connected to MySQL, and we have fired one simple query here. So let's get started with the first step. Let me get all these parameters: host, port, username, password, and the DB. So I'll create a new Python file here called db.py or database.py. And the parameters I need is, I need the host, I need the port, I need the username, I need the password, and the DB name. So the host is localhost. I've installed MySQL server in the localhost in this particular machine, and so this is admin PC. It's installed here. The port number in which it is running is 3306. So port number is 3306. Instead of localhost, I can also use 127.0.0.1, and the username is root, and the password is also root. This is the credentials that I've given at the time of installing MySQL, and the name of the database that I've created is asset underscore manager. So the DB name is asset underscore manager. So now I have all the DB details. Now I have all the DB details with which I can connect to the database. All the DB details like the host, the port number, the username, the password, and the database name. So let me move on to the next step. So after getting all these connectors, I will install the PyMySQL package. So to install PyMySQL package, go to File and then go to Settings. Go to the project interpreter, and inside the interpreter, click on Add. And here, I want to install a package called PyMySQL. This is not a default package along with Python. You need to install this package in order to connect to the MySQL database. So there are packages available to connect to different types of databases like SQL Alchemy, CX Oracle, PyMySQL. So all these are packages available for Python to connect to the different types of packages. Since I'm connecting to the MySQL database here, I will install the PyMySQL package. So click on Install Package button here. It will take some time to install this PyMySQL package, which will enable me to connect to MySQL database. So the package PyMySQL is installed successfully. I will close this window, and you can see the PyMySQL package successfully installed here, and we will then click on OK. So now this particular project, DB connection demo, has PyMySQL installed, and this project now has the capabilities to connect to the MySQL database. So we are done with step number 2 of installing the PyMySQL package. Now I want to import PyMySQL, which will enable me to connect with the database. So I will just add one import statement here and say import PyMySQL. So you need to import this package after it has got installed, so that with the help of this package, I can connect to the database. So after the import is done, we would connect to the DB using PyMySQL.connect. So PyMySQL is a package. Under that, connect is a method in the PyMySQL class. So I'll say PyMySQL.connect, and using this connect, I would specify all the connection parameters like host equal to, I would provide all the connection parameters like the host, the port number, the username, and and the password. So here we will say host equal to localhost, comma, port is 3306, and the username is root, and the password equals, and then I need to specify the name of the DB, which is equal to asset underscore manager. So these are all the connection parameters I need to provide in order to connect to the database. So all these are available in my MySQL database, and without these details, it would not be possible to connect to any database. So you need to know where the MySQL server is running. In this case, it's running on my local host. You need to know on which server it is running, what is the username and password configured at the time of installation, and what is the DB that has been created. So now with this piece of code, I should be able to connect to the database. Let me run this. I'll just say run DB, and it gives an error saying there is no assert manager. I think there is a spelling mistake here. It's not assert manager, it is asset manager. And now when I run this, it says finished with exit code 0, which means that I'm successfully able to connect to the database. So now using PyMySQL and Python, we were able to establish a connection to the database. So once I'm able to establish a connection to the database, I'm going to create a cursor object. So to create a cursor object, I will say I will say I will assign this to a connection object con, and then here we will say on dot cursor, and this I will assign it to an object called cursor. So cursor is like a statement object. We need to create one statement object before executing the query. And once I've created a cursor, I can execute any query, something like select star from asset manager dot. This is the name of my table. The name of my table is inventory. Asset manager dot inventory. Now let me insert some values so that I should be able to query. I'll say insert into asset manager dot inventory. This is the order, asset underscore ID, asset underscore name, manufacturer, IMEI, and the model. And the values are going to be let's say asset ID is A100, asset name is a mobile, and manufacturer is, let's say, RedMI, and the IMEI is a 15-digit number, and the model is, let's say, 4A. So these are some details about the data that I want to insert into the database. So I will say insert into name of the table, inventory. So these are the four values. These are the four column names and the values that I want to insert. So now when I'm going to run this, there is an error in the SQL syntax, and I think the issue is, let me find out what the issue is. asset ID, asset name, manufacturer, IMEI, and the model. These are the values. Done this now. Yeah. So I was able to insert this value into the database. Let me insert another set of data, say A200. That's also a mobile from OnePlus. There's a change in the IPI number, and let's say the model is 60 or whatever. So now when I run this, I'm able to insert another value to the table, another row or another record to the table. So now when I say select star from asset manager dot inventory, I should be able to find these two rows. So now uh, the script that I need to write is I want to make sure that using Python and PyMySQL, I read these values from the database. Now I have a table in the database with a couple of rows, and I want to read them using PyMySQL. And once you have executed the query, in PyMySQL, all the results get into this cursor object, and I can just print the cursor. Now, when I print the cursor and execute, I will get the cursor object. So this is the object in which the two rows of data are stored, or two rows of data are saved. So in order to fetch those values, or in order to put those values in a collection, we create one collection called MyList, and I'll put a for each loop saying for each item in the cursor, or for each row in the cursor. So for each row in the cursor, I'll say mylist dot append row. So basically what this for loop does is, we know that the cursor has two rows of data. It will take each row from the cursor and append it to this list called mylist. And now when I'm going to print my list, when I'm going to print this, I should be able to retrieve all the data. Uh, Let me put some braces here. Looks like it's asking for a braces. And now I should be able to get the two rows of data which are there in my MySQL database. You get, or you read data from the DB. And if I say my list of if I say print my list of 0, or if I say print my list of 1, so what it actually does is, so it is 0. So what it actually does is it prints the two items separately. It prints the first row, and then the second row. Looks like it is printing the same row twice. Print this outside. Say my list of 0, and then my list of 1. Now when I run this, I should be able to get these two rows separate, which is the first row and the second row. So this is how you get or select the values from the database. Now let's say I want to insert values into the database. I want to push some values into the database, and I want to execute an insert query. So here we will say select underscore query and save this in the form of a string, and I will also create an insert query. I have that query already here. Let me copy this and use that query over here to insert values into the database. So, and instead of the values directly having them in the query, what I need to do is I need to say percentage yes, since all are strings, I will just say percentage yes, I have 5 columns, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then these are the values, or these are the data. I'll say data equal to this one. Now, when I execute, I can say SQL, comma, data. SQL, let's insert query and the data. So I have the query here and the data for the insert query over here. So I just want to change this to A300. Sorry, A300. Again, let's say a tab, an iPad, and this is the IMEI number, and let's say it's the Pro version, mini version. Now, when I'm going to run this, I think I need to comment this part because the cursor does not hold any values now. So let me comment out this part. Let me read my list here. Okay, comment my list as well. Okay. So basically, it doesn't return any. The cursor object will be null in case of insert because it does not have any record, or it does not hold any records. So now the process finished with exit code 0, and now I should be able to view whatever I have inserted here. I don't view it here because I think the mistake I've done is I need to make sure that whenever I do an insert, update, or a delete, or whenever I do a data manipulation, I need to make sure that I commit. I do a commit, and to do a commit in PyMySQL, repeat the same command, say cursor.execute, and then say commit. So now when I run this, I should be able to insert the data into the database, and if I execute a select query, I should see the third row which got inserted. This is the third row which got inserted into the database. So this is how you perform various select, insert, delete into the database. Let's say I want to delete something. So if you want to delete, I'll just provide the query here. We'll call it as delete query, and then we will say delete from asset underscore manager dot inventory where asset underscore ID equals percentages. Okay, and then say delete data equals say for instance I want to delete 100. So instead of the insert query, I will run the delete query, and this is the delete data. And I'm also doing a commit. And now when I'm going to run this, I should be able to Is there a mistake in the query? I think there is a mistake in the column name. It is a set ID, ASSET. Okay. So now I think I'm good to go. I'll run this and it says process finished with exit code 0. And now I should have deleted A100 from my table. So now when I do a select again, so A100 is gone. So similarly, you can do an update, insert, or execute any of the table statements or the select statements using PyMySQL. So PyMySQL is specifically used to connect to MySQL databases. Similarly, you have other packages called SQL Alchemy. We have CX Oracle. So these are all the different packages used to work with databases using Python. So that's all I had for this session. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Uh, if there are any other questions, please ensure that you post it in the chat. If there are no questions, thank you so much for joining. I have a question from Taruni. Which install of PyCharm would be great? There's a PyCharm community edition. It's a straightforward install. I think that would be great. Please install the PyCharm community edition for working with Python. We hope I've answered your question. Do you guys have any other questions? Okay. If you have no questions, we'll end this call. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in the session today.